hajimemashite everybody. So the past couple of days have been a little interesting. My name is Cinta if you don't know me. Go ahead and take a look at some of the other videos. I'll probably put some examples of other things that I've put here on the channel. So the past couple of days have been chotto, which is a little bit interesting. Chotto interesting. I'm also practicing my Japanese with Metabot and ChatGPT, so I'm trying to get back into my Nihongo, which is like my next goal. As you can see, I'm wearing my ears. I like the lights, so I have the ears on. I don't really use them. These are for gaming. I don't necessarily find these great for anything more than just using for music. I'm not a gamer. I used to be a gamer back in the 80s. I used to play Nintendo. I used to do Super Mario Brothers, Pac-Man, all the things, all the games that you find in the 80s. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. But we had, we had those machines. We actually had larger, we didn't even have, like the computers and stuff in our place. We actually had to go out to gaming sections, gaming places to do this, to go ahead and play these games. So going back into this, it looks like there are quite a few gamers here, and my husband reminded me that YouTube is actually a gaming. YouTube is like lots of gamers on here. And I had no idea, so I wasn't as aware as now I am more aware as to what's going on, which is kind of cool. So let's go into this whole question of art and music. If you want to talk about gaming and characters, those gamers or people who created the games, I don't know all the names of famous people who constructed the games behind the games, but they had to come from somewhere. They had to come from a sketch. They had to come from a drawing. They had to come with, or from an idea that they kind of manifested to make happen. Naruto, I'm sure everybody knows Naruto. My husband's big into, he's the collector of all these things. So I'm just tagging along. I used to live in Japan and I found it very cool that he has all this fantastic stuff. So he's been collecting. These are all of his Dragon Ball Z. So I'm showing these as characters, even though we don't necessarily have these up. I think some of his he actually has up. I think there's a Dragon Ball Z game. I'm not sure, guys. I'm so out of it. Star Wars, May the 4th be with you is... And then you also know that he also created... So, going back into that, don't forget all these characters come with sounds of songs, and they're recognized, and every time you think of music, you think of composition. Like, it's not just the music. Like, are you interested in really learning about how to construct all of these things? How to create a character. I'm all about creating ideas. I like to do realistic cars and stuff, but I was in the process of teaching people how to do anime. So if you have things lying around, use these characters. I might even do this as an example, not right now, but we'll talk about this. I might use a character like this to create a figure. And then I've also used Leonardo. Leonardo is an app. I don't know if you probably have to be 18 and older. You might not need to be that age. But it is an app where you can create images, like designs of your own, like some ideas that can possibly turn into characters and action figures. I think on Leonardo you can create movement. I haven't tested it out yet, but then you can create these figures to actually create movement. I think you need to pay for it, and I haven't done that. So I'm still debating. There are lots of things I cannot afford in order to do certain things that I probably would want to do. But to create a character, even starting off with some sketches and ideas with the ones that you might already have, might be an interesting way to start the concept. And if there's songs and recognized songs that you guys like of anime, those songs can be inspirations for music you could perhaps consider coming up with one day. I don't know how old you guys all are. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of people with different ideas. That could be an inspiration to, I have friends that are in the world of animation. I have friends that are in the world of digital art. I have contacts in films, all that kind of thing. So there are things you can do with ideas and concepts. And I hope that this channel can help be that inspiration tool to coming up with more than just playing video games, but to be the creator of an idea. I'm all about manifesting things that might not have happened yet. There's always a loophole. There's always a place where you can fit into a kind of a vision. So I feel as if it's important to not just be a creative, but to understand how to come up with characters. Even though, you know, it's great to do these realistic paintings. This is a work in progress, but this is probably one that I will be keeping. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so this might be one that I will be keeping in the end because I don't have any more of the car paintings, and it's a large enough piece that literally you cannot walk off with it. And there's a glass frame that goes with this too, so that becomes, this is the piece that might stick and stay with me, so I have evidence. And then the Superman, I've probably pulled this out a few times. And then the other day, so you have proof that I've done the art too. And I don't know if too many people are bringing the two together, but I think it is important to see that as a whole, the arts becomes a very powerful tool to create a vision for a potential project, a potential idea. And you know what? I wouldn't mind, I don't know if I could personally come up with a game, but something where I could create a character or characters. I mean, if this is a direction people are interested in, this is how you can utilize the arts in a very practical way on a place like YouTube, because I do think that it's past just learning the games and the technical skills and understanding which moves make a certain thing happen. Obviously, I've played games before. I've never really done the bestest of the best, but I've played, Street Fighter was my thing. I used to enjoy sitting and playing PlayStation with the guys and the Street Fighter. So that was the thing that I enjoyed. That's like my era. Even though I did the they're all like older than me and stuff, which is cool. So I feel as if all of that inspired me as an artist to become like a multitasker. I saw that there was that space where you could be like the artist, right? You could be the person drawing and sketching out the ideas, or the person behind the scene doing the music and the technical stuff with the music. But for me, I saw them both ways, and I've always been a person to kind of bring the two together. So I think it's kind of important to see art as not just, oh, it's just a painting, but what can you do with those skills? What kind of things can you build growing into, I don't know, like if you're younger, you're coming up with ideas to be creative and to find ways to develop your personal hands-on skills on a level that could teach you in the future for, you know, your school and stuff, right? But as you get older, you start developing the skills of technical things like the video games and advancing in how the video games are, like the technical side of how to win the game and all that stuff. And then you get to the point of, well, you've already done that and you've created a space where you've developed like a group of friends, for instance, who are now playing video games on a consistent basis as a group, and probably you're doing stuff on YouTube for lives or whatever it is that's going on. But that's the dead end for you. Maybe this is the time to build more than just the skills of being a gamer, but the skills of becoming the master creator of that video game, or a cartoon, an anime, or teaming up with people who like movies like, I don't know, like Mononoke Hime. I grew up with that. Totoro, which is from the same creator. Okay, so that's so you've now been inspired by all these people that have created these phenomenal pieces that could eventually go as a movie, a cartoon that leads into a movie, and then the movie that leads into a video game. So it all has to come from somewhere, and it has to come from your inspiration of where you are within the arts, I think. And music can go a couple of different ways as well. And obviously understanding like fashion creates the idea of how are you going to make the characters clothing and ideas and concepts, right? So they need to be kind of like fashionable to understand the elements. Am I right? You're creating your own character. And I think people tend to forget that all of these characters that you guys are playing video games on must have come from somewhere, somebody's head, somebody's mind, and it took them hours to create these ideas. And like I was talking about, AI is literally making it so much easier to create music and characters, and I'm going to show you some characters that I did from the Leonardo. It's pretty cool. Like these things you could, even if you're not skilled or talented in that way, you can always try out and experiment with these new adaptive kind of explorations. I haven't tested out the AI music creator. I don't know if I want to get into that, because then I kind of fall short on, I'll be disappointed with myself because I'm like, I didn't come up with that. So I'm trying to be as natural as possible. I honestly think being as natural as possible, meaning you're not necessarily using those skills to advance you on a higher platform, but to use them as tools to help you develop whatever skills you have in mind. So I really think, maybe this channel could be that place where you guys can come check it out, and we can come up with some pretty cool projects together, rather than just together in regards to the music and the arts, and how to create a larger vision, not just being, I don't know where that noise is coming from, it's crazy, but to be the inspiration for an idea, a concept, a vision. And you guys might become the next animators, or the next creators of the games, or the next person that comes up with something that brings the two things together on an app. Like, I don't know if there's an app that does it yet. Now that would be something to think about. What if you were the next person to create that app that brings the art and the music together, where you're now creating like the animation? Like, how cool would that be? Like, that would be, like, if I could figure that out, I would be a multi-billionaire by now. But if you could figure it out, and you guys have the time to, then you guys are like a step ahead, right? That's like the next direction. So I really think that the goal of this channel is to inspire you to become more than that gamer, more than just coming on here and creating something or just playing games with people, right? Be be that one. I'm always the sore thumb that sticks out. It's just part of my nature. I studied the arts, as you can see. I'm an artist from all directions. I did the music. I have like the music stuff. I do the animation. I just don't know. I have friends that could probably help mold the idea together and create that animation. But that will cost money, you know. I would have to personally pay people. Well, you would have to pay people to team up with you and develop it. But if you come up with a really cool idea and create that vision, people might come onto the vision and build it up with you and grow it as a collective rather than just asking for money. I mean, it becomes a whole team, right? That's what I would like to do. I would like to develop something that could be like teamwork. Obviously creating jobs along the way. But it has to start with like a group that is inspired, interested in the same things at the same time, who understand the mechanisms for this kind of thing to work. So that's the vision in a nutshell. I didn't want to say much about how the two could actually come together beyond just being a musician and being a singer and being like a pop star and getting on there and performing on stage and having like the artists like build the stage, because I can build sets. I have built my set. This is my set. I have built this set. Okay, this is no easy task. I had to come up with the vision. And I know that having all white supplies could actually help with identifying clothing. Like these kind of, even what I'm wearing, the crazy things that I wear sometimes, those could be an inspiration to a character that you guys can come up with. That's where we're going here. We're going with utilizing all of these kind of ideas into what something you might want to discover about yourself. Maybe you guys have a premonition that this is where, or the direction you're going in is to become that next animator, is to become the animator that works with the graphic designers to build that new video game. But there needs to be a storyline, right? So you have to start writing a story and creating that. So maybe in theory, I should be helping you guys figure out how to build that. So it's beyond just the music. Yeah, obviously learn the skills and stuff, but we could create a project. We could create how to put this whole thing together on this channel and where we can take this as a collective. So I'm going past just the gaming, I guess, if you want to put it that way. I'm starting from ground zero, but we're now moving into like the next dimension. Like, how can you put the music and the art together? This is where it comes into play. So that's it for today. I'm going to bring in some more elements. We're not going to do the music. It was just a talk day because it was something that was on my mind. Like, what can you do? And don't forget, you guessed it, it's the 4th. May the 4th be with you. It will be Friday. Yeah, so, you know, you have to remember, all of these have now created this, it's just, this could be that space where you guys say, hey, listen, I have an idea for a character. Can we talk about this? What kind of things can we do? Just like put it out on the table. Let's talk, guys. This is the place for inspiration. Where do you want to take your ideas? I'm like a Peter Pan. I have never grown up. I'm 44 years old. I will not lie. I'm 44 years old and I don't think I will ever grow up because I chose the field that everybody dares not to go. The arts is the place where people kind of run from. It's like, oh my gosh, she chose the poor artist syndrome problem. I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. This is how we're going to do it. The internet is now the place to be to make this concept and vision possible. I should really see if my friend who's the animator would have time to join me on a live session from his channel, and then he can talk about what he's experienced on. I'm gonna have to check. I've asked so many people and they want to do it and then they don't do it. So I have to find a way to get them on here with me now, right? But yeah, let's, like, you know, it would be kind of cool to hear from another person who does this kind of stuff, like as a job, as an animator. I remember going into his space, and when I was living in South Africa, his office, his studio, oddly enough, was like 3 blocks down from my parents' house. So, you know, I'd be going down there and checking out what they're doing for their next, like, cartoon. And that was kind of like where it was kind of awesome. I liked going into an office space, and it looked sort of like this, right? They had their, like, setup. I don't think they had a producer or people doing the music. That was like, I was like, I'm here. Ask me to do your music. I'm here. But yeah, this could be the station where the inspiration comes from, right? So don't give up on thinking about not using. And if you have these characters, pull out your characters. Let's start talking about using your figures. If you guys have figures lying around as the vision, drawing, sketching ideas, coming up with new ideas, using your pieces as the inspiration block if you want to do it by hand. Or use the Leonardo. I'm going to show you some clips of really cool things, and I literally just used my finger and created like these great figures that could probably be action figures for, I mean, it's kind of cool. Out Leonardo if you haven't tried Leonardo. It's just like swiping your finger and voila, you have like a character. I was like, well, then there you go. So you've saved your time. It kind of creates it for you though. It's a little bit, it's not quite being personally inspired by using your characters, but there are a few ways to go about doing this, right? I recommend you guys trying some new forms, not just focus on being the gamer, but be the creator of the gamer, or be the creator of the animation that comes up with the game. That would be kind of interesting. I could see that happening. Anyway, folks, yeah, I used my ears today. I didn't know what to do with it. I don't want to just have them lying around, but I'm not going to use them through they're cool. I think they're cool. I think it takes it to a different dimension, right? It's kind of awesome. So I might consider just wearing them. We'll see. Okay, guys, arigatou gozaimashita, matashita sayonara, and jane bye-bye, and I will see you guys in the next one, and start thinking about some visions, some ideas of what you might have, and start asking me on the lives of the kind of things you'd like to see me kind of come up with that can help you guys out. What kind of things would you create if you had a vision? Where would you like to take your vision? Okay? It does take time. It does take time. But if we work together as a team, it will move faster because it will be more fun. And I will see you guys in the next one. Arigatou gozaimashita, matashita sayonara, and jane bye-bye.